I have learned a lot about the Twitter X ad platform and this glitch. And I've been sharing some of it in bits and pieces over the last couple of episodes. This episode is going to be a recap of everything that I've learned, what I'm using ads for, and how I set these ads up. Because I've been doing this a lot every day. I'm obsessed with these ads. They're so fun. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. If you don't know, if this is your first time listening to The Edward Show, welcome. Basically, a week and a half ago, I noticed that I discovered something on Twitter X ads, and I got 1.3 million impressions and thousands of link clicks for 60 cents. And instead of keeping this to myself, instead of keeping this discovery to myself, I made a TikTok about it, and that TikTok went viral. And it brought a lot of listeners to my show who wanted to hear about what I have discovered with Twitter X ads. But the thing is, at the time that I made that video and I made that episode, it was the day of the discovery. And so in the last week, I really have learned so much. And so if this is your first time listening to The Edward Show and you're just hearing about this glitch, wow, you can get 1.3 million impressions and thousands of link clicks with Twitter X ads. How do I do it? And if that's your first time, well, I'm going to teach you exactly what to do. And if you've already been playing around with them because you've learned from me in the past, then I'm going to tell you the things that I have learned, that I have seen. And if you've seen some cool things yourself or some things that you disagree with, then you can message me and let me know. You can message me anywhere. And my email is edward@edwardsturm.com. Just let me know. And that's what you're going to get from this episode. I'm going to share it first. I'm going to start by sharing what I've been using Twitter X ads for. I have 10 different campaigns going on right now. 10 campaigns simultaneously going on right now. I start several each day. What am I using? What am I using these campaigns for? What am I using millions of impressions and thousands of link clicks for? I'm using it to get users to my own products. I have several different startups, and the people who are coming from these ads are really using the products. That's really cool. They're using the products. We had one of them complete a challenge on our daily habit building tool, Commit Club, today. One of them completed a week-long challenge. I'm using them for affiliate products, different products that I've been doing affiliate sales for. I really like affiliate. The thing about affiliate that's cool is that you don't make as much money and you can't raise against the revenue, but you don't have any of the headaches that come with having a startup. You don't have payroll. You don't have to worry about product. You don't have to worry about CRO. You just leave that all up to you find a product that has product market fit. You do affiliate for it, and then you get a commission every month. If it's SaaS, if it's software as a service, you get a commission every month from people who just keep on paying for the service that you sent them to. It's a pretty sweet deal. I also like startups. I love doing startups because they're fun. They're fun and they're challenging. I enjoy the challenge. I enjoy learning. I enjoy managing a team. And that's why I have my own companies. I think it's fun and exciting to build. I like to build. My handle on TikTok is Build in Public. I like to build. My handle on Instagram is edward.builds, because I like to build. But affiliate is also pretty nice because you can have a viral video with an affiliate link in it and then just get money for months off that. Or set up campaigns, convert some people, get money for months off that, especially if you discover a hack. Then it's pretty sweet. So I've been using these ads for affiliate products, and people are actually converting. They're converting a lot more than I thought they would be. So that's cool. I'm using them for newsletter signups to get signups to the edwardsturm.com newsletter. That's kind of like a weekly summary of what I've been learning and what I've been sharing in this podcast. Sometimes I share some things that I haven't even shared in the podcast. I put a lot of work into those. Those come out every Sunday. Right now, this newsletter is a sponsor for this show. It is edwardsturm.com/newsletter. I hope you will check it out. I think it's pretty good. I have readers from Ralph Lauren, Omnicom, Forbes, Discover Card, funded SMB, funded startups and SMBs. Is pretty good. I use the ads for podcast listeners to drive listeners to this podcast. And I'm using the ads to boost my ranking on SimilarWeb. So SimilarWeb will give me a higher, if you've ever heard of SimilarWeb, it ranks websites on the internet against each other. It's free to use. You can just go to SimilarWeb, I think it's similarweb.com. You can see where your website ranks. And you can see like, okay, am I getting more traffic than this website? And if you have under 1 million ranking, like the lower your ranking is, the better. That means the more traffic you get, the more monthly traffic you get. If you have under, and it updates every month, if you have under 1 million, right now mine is 1.1 million. So I am like the 1.1, my personal website, edwardsturm.com, is the 1.1 millionth most popular website on the internet. And if you can get below 1 million, then lots of different services will give you some benefits. And I'm using these ads to get below 1 million. And then I'm going to be a publisher on Help a Reporter. And I'm going to put up queries for different experts to give answers to with Help a Reporter so I can learn from them, write articles using these experts, but also drive more exposure to my site because the publisher is listed as edwardsturm.com. And it's this complete upward spiral. That's like a little bit of a hack. That's a great hack right there. Get under 1 million on SimilarWeb and then become a publisher on Help a Reporter. It's amazing. Love that. I love that. I'm so excited. And I think this month I will be under 1.1 million. There's so much that you can do with it when you have thousands of experts looking at your site every month from these queries and other publishers looking into it. So much that you can do. And then I'm using these ads for SEO. I'm sending traffic to important pages, which I would like to see rank better. People will argue for centuries on whether there is a direct correlation between traffic being sent to a page and its ranking within Google. Some people will say traffic directly helps. Others will say it indirectly helps because it makes you more likely to get backlinks. I personally found that it creates a little bit of a boost. So I'm sending traffic to important pages on my site that I want to see rank better within Google. These are bottom of funnel pages that I have done bottom of funnel search engine optimization for. I've talked about that before on other episodes. Finally, I am using these cheap, amazing ads to test copy and test creatives. I ran one yesterday. It did not perform well, but I think it's funny just to give you an idea of the silly things that I am testing. I ran an ad yesterday that said, "I believe in you." That was the copy, and the creative was my face. It didn't perform well because it didn't get millions of impressions. And I'm going to talk about that because not every campaign gets these millions of impressions like I've described. Some do, and then others don't. So I'm going to talk about that. But I ran this campaign because I wanted people to see my face and associate that with positivity. So that's why the creative, the image was my face. And then it linked, I think, to a podcast episode on YouTube. And the copy was, "I believe in you." Now, this one's complicated because that campaign might have not performed well because it linked to YouTube. And I think if you link to like an independent blog, you'll do better versus linking to a social network. And I might try running that again. I forgot to mention there's one last thing that I use these campaigns for, and that's followers. Believe it or not, I get lots of followers from running these campaigns. And these are followers who engage. When I tweet, now before I was running these campaigns, my tweets would get several dozen views per tweet. Now they get hundreds of views per tweet. Insane. How insane is that? It's working really well and it's so cheap. Oh my gosh. I love these cheap Twitter ad campaigns. I think it's a glitch because, well, I'll talk about that. And I've talked about that before. I'll talk about that more. That'll be the last thing that I talk about. I didn't even have it. I forgot to write that on my show notes. So there we go. I wrote down glitch. So I will remember to talk about it. Yeah, so like I said, I have 10 campaigns going on right now, maybe more. I don't know. It's a lot. So what do I do for the copy? I told you one example, but that was silly. It didn't perform well. Here's what I've learned about copy over the last week, about what I write on these ads. Well, even though I'm targeting English as a language, I believe that much of the audience that is being targeted by these cheap Twitter ads, they are in low GDP per capita places, and many of them do not have English as their first language. They speak English, but it is not their first language. And so what I have seen is that explicitly saying the benefits of what you are advertising tends to do very well. Here are some examples. This is the best and cheapest XYZ of 2023. Insert product into XYZ. This is the best and cheapest XYZ of 2023. Here's another. Everybody, this is something that I'm doing with my podcast. I'm running variations of this. Everybody who listens to this podcast gets better at marketing and makes more money as a result. And sometimes you have to if it's not paid, I think you can say that. If they don't have to pay, if it's like a free product, I think you can say that. You can say crazy things like that. But it's like, the point is, you need to be explicit about the benefits. Why do you want to get better at marketing? You need to be explicit about the benefits because these people a lot of the people who these ads are reaching do not have English as their first language. And then when I put the link in, this is for website ads. I'm really just running website ads. I found that reach ads, engagement ads, they don't do very well. They don't get the same reach that website ads do. So I run website link click ads. And then I put a link both in both for the creative, for the image, but also in the copy itself. And right before the link, I will put an emoji representing. So if it's my podcast, I'll have headphones. If it's my newsletter, I'll have a envelope emoji. And I put that emoji right before the link. So it could be like, everybody who listens to this podcast gets way better at marketing and improves in their career. And then I have a headphones emoji and the link to my podcast. And I tend to append, because I have my newsletter opt-in everywhere on my site, I append the campaign that it's coming from because I see where people convert. But what I do is I will do if you write this at the end of your link and you have some sort of opt-in, you can see which campaign is converting people. So then I write / ? or Twitter campaign 1 or something like that. Just so I know which campaign people are converting from. That really helps me. I've noticed with the so I use Midjourney. I basically have two variations of images that I use for my campaigns. One is my face, and I use that for my newsletter and my podcast. And then another is Midjourney images. I just generate images, AI images in Midjourney, and then I upscale them with the tool. I shared this tool before. I'll share it again really fast. Upscale basically means to increase the size of an image, and to increase the size of an image. But I don't want to lose resolution. I want the resolution to be maintained because Twitter ads requires a high, an image with a large size, not file size, but dimensions, large dimensions. And so I use this tool. It's called replicate.com /nightmare AI /real -ESRGAN. And I use that tool. It's free. And I'm able to upscale my images without losing resolution using AI. And then I put those images. These are images that I generate with Midjourney. And then I put those images into my ads. I think I might be experiencing creative fatigue because I've been running my face on so many different campaigns. And I've been running these Midjourney images on so many different campaigns. So now I'm starting to generate new images and test new images again because I might be experiencing creative fatigue. I think people are just seeing these images too much and are just scrolling past my ads. So I'm creating new creatives. And then I want to tell you, I gotta remember to say like how many impressions as well, because that's quite important. Make a note: 3M impressions. Now, this way I can tell you about impressions later in the podcast. So here are the exact settings that I do for these ads. This is going to be like, I'm going to just rapid fire shoot through these. If you plan on setting up these ads, you might have to listen again. But these are the exact settings that I do to get these results, and that usually works. I do $1 a day ad spend. I do location off. I do website ads, $1 a day ad spend, location off. So your default location will be wherever you are, and I just X on that. No location, which targets globally. I put the keyword as Y Combinator. I put in an interest, startups. That's an interest that they have there, a listed interest. I put the language as English. Then when you start the campaign, you have to go back into it and go back into your ad group, scroll all the way down, and then opt into optimized targeting, which expands the reach of your ad. I think that optimized targeting is part of the reason why this works so well, because it looks for people who are similar to what you have described, or just even like more people. So I do optimized targeting, and then when I start getting people engaging with the ad in my notifications, very quickly you'll start getting likes and reposts from the ad, and you'll see that in your notifications. Click on that ad and then open up comments. I engage with everybody who comments on these ads. I think it makes the ads perform better if you get comments. I think it makes them perform better if you engage with the comments. And I think engaging with the comments, what I've seen is engaging with the comments creates loyal followers. I've also had people subscribe who weren't going to subscribe to my newsletter and then become loyal like within the last week, but have become very receptive to my newsletter, to my brand, because I have taken the time out to engage with them on the ad. So I respond to everybody. And I think it also makes the ads do better, and it gives you followers. It's pretty cool what I've seen. I've seen the same people now like commenting and reposting and liking a lot of my tweets as a result of me engaging with them, starting with those ads. So let me talk about some of the results that I'm getting. I have some campaigns that are getting the same results from when I made that viral TikTok a week ago. Some campaigns that are getting millions of impressions and thousands of clicks for $1. And then others that are getting just hundreds of clicks and hundreds of thousands of impressions for $1. And it's a bit hard to compare. A lot of people are asking, are you getting the same results now that you were getting a week ago when you made that viral TikTok? The simple answer is no, but that's also because it's hard to compare now to then. Then I was only running one campaign. Now I'm running 10. So it could be scaling issues because I have so many campaigns going on. Also, I'm seeing the dashboard, the Twitter ads dashboard. It's constantly breaking because I'm running so many ads. But here's what I can tell you to expect for like CPC. Cost per click, very standard metric. Some of the best CPCs that I get, 0.0006 or 5, 0.0006 or 0.0005 as a CPC, as a cost per click. So what is that? That is like one, oh my God, it's hard for me to do the math because it's such a small number, but 0.0006 as a cost per click. That's pretty good. If you can, you should try to get that. The average will be 0.0012 as a CPC, and then bad is 0.0019 plus as a CPC. These numbers only matter if you're trying to run these ads. And then, like I said, I think I'm also seeing that once a campaign reaches 3 million impressions, it starts getting less impressions every day for that same $1 a day ad spend. And oftentimes I will turn off the campaign and start a new one. And then it will do well again. That's something that I've noticed, but I can't completely confirm that. That's like a recent discovery. And on the high end of impressions per day, you might see like 1.4 million to 1.6 million a day for that $1 ad spend. And then not great would be like 200,000 impressions a day for that $1 ad spend. And bad would be like less than 200,000 impressions per day for that $1 ad spend. And then the last thing I want to talk about, this is a bit of a long show, but a lot of people are still curious about what's happening with these Twitter X ads. And you should be, because there's nothing else like this on the internet. Like in my viral video, in my viral TikTok, I said, this is a party. And it is, it really is, this crazy party. It feels like a party. Like when I check my email inbox, it's wild because so many people are opting in and emailing and responding to my autoresponder and paying for my products and using my products. It's crazy. It's really crazy. And so it is a party. But the reason I think it's a glitch is because if you try to clone a campaign, or if you try to adjust a campaign after it starts, then you stop getting those results. Once you have your campaigns going, don't mess with them. If you want to start a new one, you got to start a new one from scratch. Fortunately, there are very few settings to input, but that's part of what I've seen with this. If you try to clone a campaign or adjust a campaign as it's running, then the campaign will just burn through your ad spend right away, and you won't get those results. So start from scratch. And that's why it feels like a bit of a glitch, because that is something that should not happen. So I still believe that I have discovered some sort of glitch within Twitter X ads that has not been fixed, because the results seem too good. I'm getting positive ROI on my ad spend, positive ROAS, and I'm getting just so much engagement and followers and everything. So this is a pretty great thing. That's pretty much all I know. This episode, I went deep into something that I think a lot of listeners care about. It definitely is not an episode that will age well. Like, you're not going to be able to go back into my library of content and engage with this in the same way, because I'm sure that this will change soon. But right now, this is the way that it is. I'm running so many different campaigns, and I hope I bring value to anybody who's listening. This is episode 55 of The Edward Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode, if you enjoy what I share with you, let me know. I like hearing from you, or give me a nice rating on whatever ad platform you're listening to this with. That would mean a lot to me. I don't know why. I think that makes these streaming platforms recommend my show more. I think that's what happens if I get a good review. So if you enjoy this, please leave me a good review. And let me know as well. I like hearing from every one of my listeners. Thank you so much. I will talk to you again tomorrow. Bye now.